Hello, hello. We're here today with another episode of Postgres Cafe, today with Cedric. Would you mind introducing yourself today?
Yeah, sure. Hello, Sarah. So I'm Cédric Villemain. I'm French, as you can hear, and I'm a little bit old. I start to have gray barber and hair everywhere. And I started working on PostgreSQL around nearly 20 years ago on startups industry in France, which was successful. And then I worked in a little bit in a consulting company and then founded the group in France, which has been renamed a few years ago to Databene. And so today I'm more or less trying to focus on R&D for PostgreSQL and side projects.
Good. And we also work with Cedric sometime together, right, Cedric? We were colleagues.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello,
Yeah,
Christine. Yeah, it's
yeah,
super nice to meet again.
exactly. I'm so happy to be here together again as well.
Sure.
So, I think today we will talk about Stats Manager. And my first question is, why does Stats Manager exist and what problems does it solve?
Okay, so initially it was not supposed to exist. I was working on another side of PostgreSQL because in PostgreSQL 18 we will have a new cumulative statistics system. I mean, not new, but the existing one will be open for extensions. And
Mhm,
so I was looking at this part of PostgreSQL project, and then I discovered quickly that yeah, it might be interesting to improve this cumulative stat system with more advances, features and functionalities. But at the same time, it will be very hard to have one solution fit them all. So I was
mhm.
also considering a way to be able to get a layer to get advanced statistics, and then another layer to manage statistics and do stuff with that. Okay, so
Okay.
I work on those both extensions, which are both providing external functions for other extensions to be able to just use it directly. So the basic things are already done. And so Stat Manager emerged as a plugin for statistics in order to get an history of
Mhm,
statistic produced by PostgreSQL. You know, in PostgreSQL, every measure, everything we have, every counters are just current value. There is no history, maybe sometimes some aggregates with speech assessments, but it's pretty
mhm.
limited. So Stat Manager allows to get a snapshot of all those stats um, on a said interval and for duration that you want. So it's like a ring buffer. And so you
Mm,
can record your stats and you can get maybe 5 minutes of activity or 1 hour, 1 day, whatever duration you want here.
I see. Okay.
And so the purpose today for the Stats Manager is really to there are several extensions in the world about monitoring and observability with PostgreSQL. However, there is no real um, simple to use solution which you can just use like you create extension and then you start using it without restart or without everything and without a lot of configuration. So Stats Manager is very easy and simple to use. The idea is that you just install it on the system, you create extension, Stat Manager,
Mhm.
and then you can start using it directly without anything else to do.
Okay. Does it
So
take the statistics that Postgres records already, or like when you actually like say create statistics or something that you need to trigger it, or how does it work basically?
at the moment, the extension just manage a fixed statistic from PostgreSQL, which is like a PG checkpointer, background writer, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's expected to also cover dynamic statistics, which are
Mm-hmm.
all about tables, functions,
Mm-hmm.
databases, and so on. And then also allows to plug in other statistics from another extension.
Oh,
The idea
okay.
is to get something pluggable where there is a way to define the kind of statistic you're interested at and the callback functions to snapshot the data
Mm-hmm.
and later to be able also to get callback. I mean, during the snapshot, you may want to proceed some information or do some action. And so the
Okay.
idea is to provide an interface here to get
Okay.
some example inside with Test Manager, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe let others do what they need.
Got it. Okay. Now it's more clear. Cool.
So in a way, here's the idea is that in observability, um, one of the problems is that you may have to restart your agent, which is doing your monitoring of your PostgreSQL instance, or you had an incident
Mm-hmm.
outside of PostgreSQL, or maybe inside PostgreSQL, but here it's about external activities. And here with such a plugin, with such an extension, your agent may just reconnect and collect the statistic which has been accumulated meantime in the server, and so there is no gap in your observability, in your rendering, in your
I
vision.
see.
You got a gap because your service was down, but when it go up, you can recover and create the service story.
Okay.
And the other main point is to be able to debug when you are in a production system and you want to get a quick view about what happened in the last maybe 10 or 30 minutes. It's very convenient to get an easy to use tool already in the database. And this is StatsMgr.
And how does this keep all this information when we are not, when we lost, I don't know, the agent or something? It's using the wall, or how does it work?
Well, at the moment, it's benefiting from the dynamic child memory from PostgreSQL, which is a way to install a module, to load a module without having to update the configuration of PostgreSQL. There is a parameter called child preload libraries that usually you have to update with your module. Then you restart PostgreSQL and you can benefit your extension.
Okay.
Here we're using,
Shared preload libraries. That's what you are saying.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yes. Okay. I know what you mean.
because
All right.
it's what you use to load pitch stat statement, for
Yeah.
example, which is very
Yeah.
famous, or timescale
Yeah.
DB, Citus, or whatever is
Yeah.
needed in child libraries. Here we just, with DSM, we can just have shared memory, but after the start of server. So it allows to install the extension and benefiting from memory, which is persistent. So you can connect, disconnect, you keep your snapshots, and you
Okay.
can reconnect on another session and just look at them. There is no persistency on disk at the moment, but maybe in the future.
Okay. Got it. On memory. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm assuming database administrators could definitely benefit from this tool. Are there any other types of people that could benefit that you would that would be the target audience for this?
Well, at the moment, clearly the best audience is anything about observability. Okay, so at the moment, it's very like an explosion through SQL, but also with the C interface. So maybe your agent just can use the C API to connect and get the statistic directly instead of using the SQL API, just getting its own extension. Other way, because from same kind of stat manager may export data in maybe another ways than SQL. This is a really open starting of a project here. So there is this direction, and well, for DBA, it will be very probably useful to get insight into the databases, and as well anyone working on reliability of the services, because you can really get a quick picture on a short time frame inside PostgreSQL about many statistics. So I hope it will be helpful for them and maybe for DevOps. After all, this is all about everything. We have a stats in PostgreSQL, and the stats in PostgreSQL are useful for many people. So
And what happens when you said like this, you created this tool before Postgres 18, and when Postgres 18 comes, will it change anything for this tool, or like will it improve something for it, or it was a necessity before Postgres 18, or?
okay, not exactly. PAX, the other extension, PostgreSQL Cumulative, PostgreSQL Advanced Cumulative Statistics will require PostgreSQL 18. Okay, because we use a feature from PostgreSQL 18. Stats Manager can be used. At the moment, we just need to get dynamic child memory. So I believe it's PostgreSQL 16 or 17 for the public access. And it can be backported, but the idea is to benefit from the latest feature of PostgreSQL because, well, it's more interesting to work on
Advanced.
today's software.
I see. Okay, good. Okay, so for the people who don't know much about statistics, like what are the contents of the statistics covered in Postgres? Like what is covered in this tool, basically? Like why, like, what type of statistics we are talking about here?
Okay. Well, we are talking about the counters provided by PostgreSQL, but improving them. So instead of just getting the counters, which are just accumulating most of the time, sometimes it's gauge, but often it's just counters. The idea is just to provide them, but with a snapshot, it means that you can build aggregates, you can build rates, you can build average, mean, max, and you can provide probably buckets around that. So the idea is just to get all the stats from PostgreSQL, and when you build the snapshot, just consolidate the statistics to provide a better view. And so when we're talking about fixed set statistics, it's because we have several kind of statistics in PostgreSQL. Some are for monitoring some specific events that we know and are fixed size. I mean, for example, the background writer activity has a a set of activity it's going to handle. So we have a defined number of counters, and when you select this counter, you have a single row, a single tuple with all values in a single line. For other statistics, the dynamic ones, when you're going to select on them, you're going to get several lines. There are a few exceptions, but the idea is here. For example, if you go and look on the tables, it can be 1 or 100 tables or 1,000 tables. This is dynamic.
Okay.
So here, StatsMgr work
Yeah.
with, for the moment, fixed and with the dynamic. And in PostgreSQL 18, it will be open for other extension, and so probably it will be able to manage statistics from other extension. This is the hope.
Okay, I see. Cool. And Sarah, what would you like to ask more? Maybe I think I went through a lot that I have in my mind.
I was actually curious to know where the tool is going to be hosted and how people might contribute to it. Like, are you looking for discussions? Are you looking for co-contributions? Do you just want to bounce feedback off of people?
Okay, so for the moment, the code is hosted on our own Git at git.databene.io, and probably it will stay in this area, but maybe, I mean, this is fully open source, okay, under the PostgreSQL license, and so maybe it will be hosted in the end in Codeberg, for example, which is a good hoster for open source project. It depends really how the project mature and like become useful and with feedback. And so here about the feedback, yeah, it's interesting for me to, well, get what are the needs from end users, okay, because it helps a lot when you design and to be sure that you're doing the right thing, but also after that to expose the good features. So I have some in mind, but getting some feedback about what will be useful and what is missing currently in PostgreSQL will be just I'm adding and a good driver to improvement in Stat Manager. But also, this is very early shape of the project, so there is many things to do. There is minimum documentation, sure, but there is minimum testing, there is minimum code, and so in PostgreSQL, there is many ways to improve Stat Manager because there is, for example, just adding and improving the configuration for Stat Manager, which are not very complex patches. There are more advanced patches to do to better control the memory used by the tool, and later to also snapshot data on disk and do persistency. This is distinct challenge that maybe people will be interested to step in, and I will be I will welcome contribution from others. There is no copyright restriction on software anyway, so
Cool.
I won't ask you to do a copy left for Databene or for StatsMgr.
Good.
And maybe the other point is that our Git is currently running on 4.0, which is an alternative to GIT. And the idea behind that is that in the long term, I expect it to be federated with other 4.0 websites, allowing people to work together without having to be registered on GitLab or GitHub or whatever big mainstream provider, which is a single instance from an end user point of view.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it's not done, and so it depends. If it's too complex, the idea is not to block people to register, and so maybe I will end up with Mirror or way to pull and push from GitLab and GitHub and others. I don't know.
Yeah.
Feedback will come.
Do they need to be like when people install this extension, do they need to have some specific privilege or permission, like super user level, or is just?
Well, as the moment here, it's not enforced. So if you install it on the system, you already have the right to install it. So you probably have anything you need to do as a super user. But later, I believe it makes sense to restrict their access. So in PostgreSQL, we have a PG monitor role, which is perfect with this usage. So we can just say that the extension require a user to be part of the group PG monitor role, and so it can benefit from the extension.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the parameters will be restricted because they are going to affect the memory. For instance, what's nice is that you may start with a limited amount of history and because it's enough, and then later discover that you need more. You start with a 1-day summary and you want to get 1 week. So maybe you want to update your configuration and get 1 week without restart, without anything. But maybe you also want to add limits up to what point people can just grab your shared memory.
Exactly. I see. Okay. Good. Thanks, Cedric. I don't think I have any other questions about it. And Sarah, do you have anything?
Was kind of curious to see just like a short 20-30 second demo of how it works.
Ooh,
Yeah,
demo.
Um,
Yes,
well,
yes, please.
so maybe it's going to crash because I, as I said, memory is not well managed everywhere. But let's try. So I'm going to share my screen in a second. And up. Yeah, okay. So the idea is that when you're connected to PostgreSQL and you want to usually install an extension, you have to modify this parameter, which I was mentioning. So here it's off. And the idea is that you can just create extension, StatsMgr, and then you can list the content of the extension. Well, I'm using PSQL here because I find it convenient for my usage. There is PSPG, which is another terminal. There is pgadmin, there is alternative. So this is not the main point, but I find it nice. So at the moment, I just commented some few functions because I had bugs on them, for instance, for the SLRU and for IO, which are distinct because I mentioned before this fixed size, usually one line. But for IO and SLRU, we have multiple lines for each counters, even if it's fixed. So here I've just installed, and you see there is a function here, start main worker, which allows me to, well, start the engine. And so it started currently. Maybe if I go and do a tail, I hope it won't be too long. So you see it as attached. So I'm going to provide a bit more of history here. So you see it has been attached, and it's quite verbose because I activated debug. Okay. So I just got here, and you see for each kind of statistic that is going to register, it creates a new GSM, which is shared memory, and to just store the snapshots. Okay, and then there is a snapshot worker which is working on a tick basis and is going to collect information. So it just connects, snapshot, and disconnect, and snapshot again on the next interval. And what's nice is that even if I go away, you see I'm disconnected now from PSQL and I connect again. Well, it's still installed for sure, but also I'm able now to connect and execute some of the function. So there is nothing happening. So probably there won't be a lot. Okay, you see there is no change. And you notice that currently we are at the tick 7. So I didn't add it yet a column for the timestamp, but this will be added soon. So we can associate a tick with the timestamp. And there is a ring. So later it will ring, and on the top we may have the tick 5 or 3 or 15, depending on your ring. Okay, so you always have the most recent events on the top of the table. You see, for example, I put just a 10 ticks for the demo and a short 2-second snapshot, sorry. So we can see that it's moving on a ring. But let's try to get some maybe minimum of activity to see if it changed a little bit. It's supposed to, yes, you see. But yeah, it's not consuming a lot. Okay, so you see it's allocating a little bit more buffer. We see it growing and we keep it in history. Okay, so overall for a short demo, very short demo, this is just that. So it means that we just install it, and later if we believe it's very nice and we want to keep it, then it's very easy because you just need to do, okay, next time, here it's loaded, so it won't shut down except there is a bug or whatever, or it's killed or whatever. But then you can just alter system and set shell payload libraries to stats manager. And then the next time you restart PostgreSQL, the engine will be restarted at the same time. Sorry. So for example, here, I do that. So there is no persistence, so we won't see the history of previous iteration, but it has been started, and so it's going to start collecting more information.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a short demo, but maybe it's enough
Yeah,
to
but
show
it
the value.
actually explains. Yeah, thank you. It shows more. Like now I have it like what kind of functions you have there, and yeah, you were
Well,
saying the ring memory. Yeah.
the other point which I didn't explain, I'm going to add this timestamp, and also there is this tick,
Yeah.
and the tick is common to all snapshots. So at the moment, there is a single ticker for all the snapshots, but later I will have a main ticker and ticker for each kind of statistics, meaning that when you're going to look at your stats, you can join them on a tick to be able to look at the statistic on the same timestamp. And also it allows to do analytics on all the stats with a command point to join them.
Okay.
Other than the usual
Yeah.
PID, OID, and everything.
So that's tick ID. Cool.
Exactly.
Easier to follow.
Cool.
Thank you for showing us. It's actually a lot easier to see it in action like that.
All right,
Yes.
then.
Well, I tried to explain, but at least when you have a visual, it's better. I wanted to add some diagrams, but in the console, it's more challenging, and I didn't install the good libs for that. But it's possible.
Good to know.
Yes.
All right, then. Thank you, Cedric, for being our guest today. And thank you, Sarah. And hope to see you some other time again. Bye.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for the interview, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.